So imagine building this like impenetrable titanium vault, right?
Yeah.
$1 billion vault. But you accidentally wire the lock so it pops wide open if someone just hits 0 on the keypad.
Yeah, that is honestly the perfect way to describe this whole mess.
Right, and that is essentially how over 1,600 Bitcoin, which is about $100 million, just vanished from 7,000 cold card hardware wallets.
Which is wild because these are supposed to be entirely unhackable.
Exactly. Welcome to today's deep dive, where we are unpacking a really fascinating YouTube breakdown from Fireship. If you use physical hardware to protect your digital assets, this is, well, it's your absolute worst nightmare.
And, I mean, we aren't talking about careless users who click some shady phishing link here. These victims were, like, the highly responsible crypto holders. The one who preached the whole, not your keys, not your crypto thing.
Yeah, the paranoid ones, which makes it so crazy. So let's actually unpack the flaw, because it all boils down to this tiny microscopic naming conflict in the code.
All right, so CoinKite, the company that makes Gold Card, they wrote their own custom random number generator to make those unguessable 12-word seed phrases.
Because security totally relies on having 128 bits of pure entropy, right?
Exactly.
Oh.
But they were running their firmware on MicroPython. And MicroPython actually ships with its own basic generator built right in.
Okay, so they have 2 generators. How did they mess that up?
Well, so to turn off that basic generator, CoinKite actually set a specific software flag to 0. But I mean, here's the kicker. Both of these number generators exposed a function with the exact same name.
Wait, the exact same name? Are you serious?
Completely serious. So there was an if not defined check in the code. It looked at that 0, saw it as technically defined, and just silently defaulted back to the basic MicroPython generator.
Wow. So it's like, I don't know, hiring 2 different security teams, and because they both labeled their main control switch system A, the building just defaults to the cheapest lock without anyone even noticing.
Yeah, that is exactly what happened. For 5 whole years, every single seed phrase was quietly being generated by that flimsy lock.
But wait, I have a question about that. If MicroPython is running on a bare metal chip, it doesn't have an operating system to pull real randomness from, right? Like, usually you need mouse movements or keystrokes or something.
Right, it has no real environmental chaos to draw from at all.
So how is it generating the seed phrase in the first place? What is it actually using?
It just fakes it, honestly.
Yeah.
It uses deterministic hardware variables. Specifically, it uses the serial number of the device and an internal timer.
Serial numbers are fixed, and timers are, totally predictable.
Exactly. So a hacker doesn't need a supercomputer to guess every atom in the universe. They just need a basic script to loop through those combinations. They just recreate the exact mathematical environment the chip was in at the exact moment the wallet was set up.
Okay, so they cracked the formula, but knowing the formula is, well, it's only half the battle. They couldn't just steal the money quietly, could they? I mean, they had to actually move the funds on the blockchain in broad daylight.
Yeah, and on July 30th, they did exactly that. The hackers struck, and they basically drained the largest wallets first, all in under an hour.
And you can't just, issue a firmware update to rotate Bitcoin keys, right?
No, you can't. The only way out for the victims was to generate a brand new seed and just urgently move their coins through an on-chain transaction.
I was reading this part in the Fireship transcript, and I honestly couldn't quite believe it, because when the victims tried to transfer their funds to save them, the hackers were just sitting there monitoring the public mempool, right? The waiting room for pending transactions.
Yeah, they were just watching it live.
So the victims basically ended up in a literal live auction against bots to buy back their own money.
It is so brutal, but yes. See, miners will automatically confirm the transaction that has the highest fee attached to it.
Right, because they want to get paid more.
Exactly. So the moment a victim broadcasts a transaction to save their funds, a hacker bot would instantly sign a competing transaction using the stolen keys, but they'd offer a slightly higher miner fee to jump the line.
Oh my gosh. So to win this insane bidding war, the official rescue plan actually required victims to completely bypass the decentralized public mempool.
Yeah, they had to send their transactions directly to a single centralized mining pool so the bots couldn't see them on the public network.
Which is just, wow. The bitter irony there is so heavy. To save their assets, the most paranoid, self-custody advocates in the whole crypto space had to abandon the entire trustless philosophy that Bitcoin was built on.
They really did. They had to place all their trust in one centralized entity and just, hope for the best.
It really just goes to show that complexity absolutely does not guarantee security. Sometimes it just hides the vulnerability. I mean, even the most air-gapped system on the planet is only as strong as a single misnamed line of code.
Which leaves us with a pretty unsettling thought to take away from all this.
Oh, definitely. Because if a simple deterministic timer unraveled $100 million of supposedly ultra-secure hardware today, what does that mean for tomorrow?
Right. Like, what happens to our global financial infrastructure when next-generation technologies force us to entirely redefine what genuine randomness actually is?
That is a terrifying thought to end on, but definitely something for you to think about until next time.